Remember one thing above and beyond everything else, that no one gets into Ireland unless they're vetted, unless they're verified, unless the authorities are sure they are who they say they are. Remember that. That was a statement that was made at the tail end of last year by the guards and backed up by the Irish government. No one gets in unless we know who they are. Well, this has been blown out of the water this week alone with the shenanigans and skullduggery going on in and around the stabbing that happened in Dublin last Saturday. But listen to this. This is a case from hell when it comes to not only fake identities and scamming, but lying and defrauding the government, the taxpayer, out of tens of thousands of euro. This is an embarrassing one, particularly embarrassing one for the government. Man 60 used fake Afghan passport for sham asylum claim and €43,000 welfare fraud. There we have the offender in question holding his head, probably very annoyed that he's been caught out scamming and lying. Judge John King remanded the accused on bail to appear again in court on April, held at the taxpayer's expense, tried at the taxpayer's expense, here on the taxpayer's expense, and scamming €43,000 welfare fraud. Who is this, you might be wondering? A Pakistani man used a bogus Afghan passport to trick Irish immigration authorities. So he's a Pakistani using a fake Afghan passport to trick Irish immigration authorities. They're not difficult to trick, are they? They're not the sharpest tools in the box. Into granting asylum and claiming 43,000 social welfare fraud, a court has heard. Judge John King noted Faisal Akbar, age 60, confessed his real identity more than a decade after coming to Ireland, not out of remorse, but in case his family would never know if he died. What family? Surely if you're running away from a war or persecution, would you not send your family first? Would you not make sure your family are protected? Unless, of course, you're simply coming here to scam off the government and then send your ill-begotten gains back home to the family. It's a disgrace what's going on. He confessed not out of remorse. No remorse. Of course he has no remorse. Doesn't give a damn. He's landed. He's in the land of milk and honey. Treasure Island. Treasure Ireland. In case the family would never know if he died, Mr. Akbar of Benburb Street, Dublin 7, was charged in January with 12 counts of theft of various sums and unlawful use of 2 false documents, including an Afghan passport between 2008 and 2019. So this is stretching back over 15 years. This is just one person. He appeared before Judge King at the Dublin District Court yesterday, Wednesday. The DPP directed summary disposal of Akbar's case in the district court if he pleaded guilty. Outlining the background, Garda Sergeant Derek Spain said the accused was from Pakistan but came to Ireland in 2008, claimed to be an Afghan national with a certain name, and went on to claim international protection status successfully, claiming international protection status with a false name and a false passport, and doing it over a period of 15 to 16 years. But don't remember, no one gets into Ireland unless they've been vetted. No one. Very strict on that. Very, very strict on that. Remember, that's what the government says. And the government tell the truth at all times. You've got to remember that. They don't lie. They don't spread mis and disinformation like the far right. No, they always tell the truth. Apart from this one, of course. Apart from Faisal Akbar. He used his Afghan passport Until 2019, he had received 43,715 in claims paid into his bank account. The court heard it ended when he asked to change the name on his account, but the bank alerted Gardaí. So if he hadn't have asked to change his name on his bank account in 2019, this would still be ongoing. He would have been scamming for an extra, 6 years? His defense solicitor, how can you defend this? I'll tell you why, because his defense solicitor, O'Sullivan, is getting paid a lot of money off the back of it. He told Judge King that his client was offering a plea of guilty subject to a jurisdiction decision. The court heard that Akbar told Detective Garda Dave Chapman, the investigating officer, that he had decided to inform the authorities of his true identity. However, he explained to the detective his reason for owning up was in case he died and his family would not be aware of his death if he had passed away using the fake identity. So he was running as an international protection applicant, but he left his family behind in Pakistan. He was pretending to be from Afghanistan. He was actually a Pakistani. So he was on the run, but he left the family behind. What a man, eh? Real good, solid family man. Leave the family behind, but you run. So what you're saying is this man came into the country, presented a false identity, applied for asylum under a false identity, got asylum under a false identity, got social welfare under the false identity, and opened a bank account under a false identity. The judge queried, surely that couldn't have happened because no one can come into Ireland unless they're vetted and the guards know who they are and the government know who they are. You know, this couldn't have happened. That's not possible, is it? The sergeant confirmed that was correct and a false passport had been used. So let's have a quick recap. What did this man do? What did he get away with? He came to the country, presented a false identity, applied for asylum using a false identity, got asylum under the false identity, got social welfare under the false identity, and opened a bank account under the false identity. Very strict conditions being breached there, Ireland, don't you think? Sergeant confirmed that was true. Said the DPP's direction was that this could be dealt with in a district court. However, he refused jurisdiction and held that it should be sent forward to the circuit court with broader sentencing powers. He remanded the accused on bail. Again, if you're listening to this and you're in Ireland, you're paying for this. You're paying for this. All of this, you're paying for it. In January, the court heard he had surrendered his real Pakistani passport, but he was granted legal aid because he was still on social I can hardly even talk. I'm exasperated. Social welfare. Or maybe this is subliminal. Maybe what I'm saying is right. Maybe this is not social welfare. This is social warfare. In fact, let's coin that phrase. These people are committing acts of social warfare. They're not getting social welfare. They're getting it by deceit in this man's case and have been doing for a very, very long time. Now he claims he's broke. He can't afford a solicitor. He has to get legal aid, again paid for by you, to represent him in court while he's remanded for broader sentencing. He should be deported immediately. Sure, his family are back home. They're all right. Go and send him back to his family again in Pakistan. Just saying, the details are there. Why is he here? What's he contributing? He's got no income. He's got nothing. He's taking, he's scamming, he's lying, he's deceitful, has been for a period of 16 years. This is just one case, another embarrassment for the Irish government. Listen, this is the kind of news that needs to be spread far and wide to the people that are scratching their heads going, well, it's not so bad over here. We should be more tolerant. We should be welcoming to people from other places. We should be welcoming the asylum seekers. Like this guy, you mean? The lying scammer? I'm just bringing it to your attention. Do what you will with it. If you like the content, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, join the channel, support independent media. I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward. Over and out.